I'm tired of having made up stories and lies and problems. I'm over that. I'm not gonna do it. Sorry for Bentley that he has to grow up like that and grow up with that kind of person raising him.
We'll put some ground rules down.
No funky business like you sneaking out at night?
Why would I sneak out over there? I don't have those feelings for her no more.
Hey guys, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. Last night was Teen Mom OG, and there's a couple things from last night's episode that I want to talk about. I'm not going to do a recap of this episode because this is going to be dedicated to two parents on the show that can't stop having pity parties for themselves, and two children whose lives are forever impacted because of their parents' choices. And we're going to be talking about Ryan Edwards and Amber Portwood. So this is a show where we're supposed to be following parents that had children when they were teens, the struggles and everything that goes with it. We've got two parents on the show, Ryan and Amber, who don't have custody of their kids. In fact, Bentley has been raised primarily by Maci, the mother, and Leah has been raised by Gary Shirley and Gary Shirley's wife, Kristina, for her life. So you have two children, and the biological mom and dad are kind of on the outskirts. Amber has been in and out of the clink. She has had some issues with substance, and she's had some run-ins with the law. She's also been battling mental health issues, and despite the fact that she's been out of the clink for years, she has never taken the steps to have any more custody of her daughter. Then you have Ryan, who's been running in and out of the clink. He also has battled some substance issues, and he has spent the better part of his son's life not going to court, not getting any rights, and really not doing anything to have any sort of parental rights to his son. Two people walking very similar lives, and both of them playing the victim. So here's where we're gonna go with this, because at the end of the day, it's really the kids that should be the ones that we care about, because these are grown adults that literally can't put aside their own selfish desires or selfish feelings to do what's right for their children, in my opinion. Last night, we see Ryan Edwards, who is with his wife, Mackenzie, and they're talking about Bentley. Bentley wants to go to therapy because he is struggling with not having a relationship with his father, and the idea is floated to him, and he tells Mackenzie that he would consider it. He thinks it would be a good idea. And then he also laments that he feels bad for his son for having to be raised by that. I mean, literally calling Maci like that, like being super disrespectful. Like, love Maci or hate Maci, she has definitely gone above and beyond for this kid with a father that's been in and out of getting locked up, in and out of rehab, completely absent for periods of time, and yet still is fighting for her son. Bentley is in therapy. He tells his therapist that he's struggling because he doesn't have a relationship with his father. The therapist tells Maci that Bentley feels neglected by his dad, and he said that he's struggling because Bentley shouldn't have to tell Ryan or teach Ryan how to be a father, and Ryan's lack of fighting for him and involvement in his life has deeply impacted him. Maci says that Bentley has a hard time showing his emotions or really talking about anything, and the therapist does say that long term it would be good to get Ryan into therapy with Bentley, but he's not ready for it yet. When we get to Larry and Jen, this is where things go completely off the rail. So what I'm gathering from the way that this whole season is going to play out is they are going to claim that Maci is alienating Ryan from Bentley, and that because of this parental alienation, that Maci has become a trigger for Ryan, so that if Ryan is around Maci, he flips out or he might go use. That's how they're sort of saying it without saying it. In a discussion with the producer, Larry basically says that Maci's a trigger, and if Ryan's going to be healthy and survive, he has to get rid of Maci. But the thing is that if therapists really care about Ryan, and if people really care about Ryan and Ryan's life, he has to work and do the work so that Maci isn't the trigger. And if Maci is the trigger, then they need to go to court and get they need to get a guardian ad litem, or they need to get someone that can be an intermediator between the two of them so that this kid stops having to pay the price for Ryan's inability to want to communicate with Maci. Larry literally says that he is going to pick Ryan over Bentley, and he has been wrong the whole time about Maci. I have had my critical feelings about Maci in the past, but this is so far out of left field to me that it doesn't even make sense. Maci has maybe been controlling at times, maybe has been stubborn, maybe has been trying to do the best in a situation, but what are you gonna, how are you gonna fault her? He's been in and out of rehab, he's been in and out of jail, he's been arrested multiple times. He was barely around when Bentley was a baby. How do you even rationalize that Maci's the trigger? So your son is so emotionally stunted and scared of Maci that he can't muster up the ability to parent a son, so he's just going to effectively give up on his kid. This just sounds like he's trying to blame Maci for everything. Like, it's Maci's fault I used. It's Maci's fault that I don't have a relationship with my son. No, Ryan, it's your fault. It's your fault that you don't have a relationship with your son. And Jen and Larry going this direction, it's just, I don't get it. I like Mackenzie Edwards, but in this one, I'm not seeing it. So that's what's going on over there. Now, on the Amber side of things, this is weird, you guys. Gary and Kristina want Amber to move in onto their property. And they basically think that they'll put a modular home on the property because it'll be good for Amber to get away from the city and have more space so that she doesn't have to deal with being on top of people, and she can move around freely without having to wear a mask, and she can spend more time with Leah. Amber thinks about it, meets with them, and they basically push it as, this would be really good for you and Leah. This would be really good for you and Leah. And Leah is sitting there with her mom and saying, yeah, this would be great, Mom. And Kristina later goes over to Amber's house and talks to her about it. And Amber basically admits that basically abandoned her daughter and didn't fight for her because she just felt like Leah was better off without her. And that it was too painful for her to deal with everything. And so she thought that she'd just be better with Gary and Kristina than she would be with her. And she didn't think that Leah needed her in her life. And now at, 11 or 12 years old, she's realizing that, Leah does need me in my life, and we're going to have to move. This will be good because we're all in a good co-parenting relationship now. And Kristina and Amber both tell each other that they love each other. And that's what happens, right? But she declines their offer and says that she likes living in Indianapolis and she's not going to move to their property, which is like an hour away. Now, that's all fine and good. Everything that she said she was ready to be a parent. She was willing to do everything that she needed to do. But then an article comes out in the Sun a day before this goes live, and she talks about her relationship with Leah. And Leah wants to know what's going on with her mom. Like, why did you abandon me? What went on in your life that you think that I wasn't good enough for you, or why couldn't you get your life together? She said this, she's definitely coming at me. She definitely wants to know what the hell happened, Mom. Why this, why that? And I say, and you have every right, and I'm going to give you your space. Just let me know, baby girl. She basically acts like, instead of tackling the issues and instead of tackling what's going on between her and answering the questions, she just says, I'll give you space. Space is not what Leah wants. Space is not what Leah needs. Leah needs a mother to answer hard questions, to do the work, and to take responsibility. And Amber is seemingly just going to push Leah away and say, well, you just take the space you need to understand this on your own, and I'll be over here. And that's not going to get them any closer to where they are. And how delusional she is, along with Ryan, is that here's what she said. She said, we still talk and snap, and we still say, I love you. I still see her, but she's just getting older and wants to know why and what happened back in the day, and she wants to know certain things. It's hard because it's hurtful to me when she feels possibly like she has more of a connection with somebody else than me because I'm not around as much as other people. That sucks. I'm an hour away. It's hurtful. It really is, but I'm happy to watch my daughter become this strong queen. So her daughter wants answers and she doesn't want to answer. And then it's so hard for her. It's so painful for her that she's hurt that her daughter has a better relationship with some people. She's talking about Kristina. You know that last week she accused Gary of trying to get frisky with her. She went off on them. She called them fake and two-faced. And now she says that her daughter has a better relationship with some people and it's too painful for her, so she just doesn't deal with it. Amber is 30 years old and her daughter has every single right to know what happened. And the fact that she still will not allow or provide those answers because she's so selfish in her own feelings tells me that this woman is not capable, in my opinion, of being a mother. No mother would put their feelings before the child. She would answer Leah's questions. She would do the hard work. She would be stuck in the pain. But I think Amber is so stuck in being the victim all the time that she's going to make herself the victim in this situation. Same with Ryan. The people that are hurting in this situation, I'm not going to give it to Amber or Ryan. Are they hurting? Yes. But they've blown every single chance that they don't get to now cry that it's someone else's fault that they don't have relationships with their kids. And the fact that MTV continues to enable both of these two with these delusional stories of everyone else is wrong but me, and woe is me, and my relationship sucks with my kid, but I'm not going to do the things I need to do to have a relationship with my kid. It's all just so sad. And I keep thinking about how this is all playing out on TV and how Bentley's intimate experiences are being dissected by audiences. His therapy has become consumable on TV. Imagine being 12 years old and you're going to therapy and your mom talks to your therapist while filming. How is that even ethical? It's just really disturbing. And MTV, I'm just like, can you not just cut the cord with these two? Their storylines are blah. It offers nothing and their children suffer because of it. Do you agree with me on any of this? Tell me in the comments below. Bye, guys.